So Kyle Shanahan got a brand spanking new 6-year contract, and we're about to talk about it on West Coast Offense of 49ers Pod. My name is Caesar. As always, I got my big brother Alex with me. What's up, bro?
Hey, what's up, man?
Dude, this is some great news. And before we get into it, all of our content is on YouTube as well as Apple Podcasts. We would most definitely appreciate everybody subscribing, liking, commenting. Tell a friend. The world needs to know about the West Coast Offense 49ers podcast because, Niners, the Niner gang, the Niner empire runs deep. So I know there's a lot of people out there striving for Niners content, and we're going to give it to you guys. Let's get into the news that Kyle Shanahan got his contract extension. And so the deal, 6 years. But the deal he just signed replaces the 3 years remaining on his initial 6-year deal. So that ensures that he's going to be, barring a disaster, that he is going to be the head coach of the Niners through the 2025 season. Bro, what are your initial thoughts and reactions to the news?
I mean, I think we've talked about it before. I just feel even if we haven't talked about it, in front of a camera or anything, I think this is what I wanted.
Hell yeah.
I didn't think it was coming right now. And the fact that they can't put it under wraps for so long, looks like Kyle doesn't have an agent, so no leaks. You know what I mean? So,
oh yeah, the days of the leaks coming out of the freaking the 49ers, like what is that? What street are they on? 4949 Santa Clara or whatever kind of street. Those that's all done for.
Yeah, so that's nice that it happened. It came at a good time, I think, where we were at. You're talking all this George Kittle talk with the contract and everything. With him coming in there and, the announcement's made that it's coming and you see it and you're like, man, this is who I want. Even though people were making comments about, oh, they just got a guy who did this in this Super Bowl, as the OC, and now he did it again as the head coach.
Yeah, people are
This is the same kind of people that want it. Yeah, it's the same guy they would want on their team. Even if it's their head coach or their OC, and the way he, makes things happen on the field, he designs these plays so well.
Yeah,
so I'm happy
dude.
for it. I love it.
I mean, come on now. It's like if you look at the head coaches like in the NFL, who are you going to pick over Kyle Shanahan? Even if it's so stupid that whole narrative and about him blowing the 23 lead and then blowing the Super Bowl. It's like, all right, even if you think that's true, you're going to tell me that there's probably 3 to 5, maybe 3 or 4 head coaches that you would take over Kyle. That's probably it. You're only going to take a few over Kyle. Every other team is going to probably want him. I mean, we're probably talking about Belichick, Andy Reid, Sean Payton, and I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't. That's it. I don't.
Yeah, we are Niner fans. We were such in a dark place with the Tom Sula, the Nolans, had a little run there with Harbaugh, and then we back to the dark ages, with Tom Sula and Chip Kelly. It's like now we need to thank our lucky stars that we got the big homie Kyle. He ain't going nowhere for at least a few seasons. And don't you think he's gonna he has the potential of being this head coach that has this decade-long tenure? I'm talking about the Belichicks, the Joe Gibbs, the Sean Paytons. The stars are aligning for him to be this Niner head coach. He's probably going to surpass not necessarily Super Bowls like Bill Walsh, but as far as the number of years, don't you feel like everything's kind of lining in that direction? Whereas he's going to be the longest tenured Niner head coach of all time, I think, at some point.
You think so? I mean, I think I would say that he's definitely going to be one of those coaches in the Ring of Fame with the Niners at the end of this contract, right? If he plays it all the way through. Coaches all the way through, it'll be 9 years. So he'll be up there almost a decade.
Yeah.
And that's just as a head coach. I kind of was thinking about this where he was there with his dad,
Yeah.
And he saw this when the dynasty was in its heyday, in the 80s. And he comes back and becomes a head coach and turns this thing around. Record aside, obviously, we had that one bad year and a few years there where it was pretty, up and down. It hadn't really solidified just yet. But that record aside, you could see what he's doing on the field. He's changed the organization.
Yeah.
And him and Lynch. And you got to give credit to Jed York on how he's handled this situation, because the Harbaugh situation was a lot different. It feels night and day compared to what Kyle Shanahan is doing now and how he's handling it. And I'm talking about Jed York. But I like the fact that, they've extended him.
Mm-hmm.
They'll just the foundation's here and they see where they're going, and it only is going to just increase, the faith. They're gonna see him kind of play it out. He's like, okay, I got my thing going here. He's just gonna keep building and building and building. And I do see decade long, possibly even longer. I mean, I want him to be my coach forever. You know what I mean? Like,
you want him to have
that's
that
the only coach I ever
run.
want.
Hell yeah, straight up.
Yeah, I
man.
want him. You never know what happens if he does pull these things off. And again, one side of the ball, people are like, "Oh, you got this coach. You got the 28-3 coach."
Yeah.
On the other side of the ball, people were saying, "Well, I could see 2 rings coming out of this."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, like you said, we
We're
you want to be our head
man.
coach, and like it's like you found the one, you want to put a ring on it, and it's like nah, it's like you want him to be like. You want to just spend forever with fucking Kyle Shanahan, right? And it's crazy because like you have him being the head coach for the foreseeable future just adds like this familiarity, adds structure and stability to the second most important role in a football in a football team. The whole entire organization's obviously we know quarterback's number 1, but it's like head coach is number 2, and that's the one that's probably going to have like a longer career and shit, or just like remain with the team for so much longer. But it just feels like you mentioned like Jed and how he handled the situation, and it's like it almost feels like that needed to happen for like Kyle to get this long leash, because Jed was just public enemy number 1. I mean, they buried him on talk radio for like 4 years straight, and he was the laughing stock, and it made you like lightweight embarrassed to be a Niner fan. Like, damn it, dude! Like, I'm still gonna wear my my red and gold and shit with pride and stuff, but at the same time, like, I know we suck right now, and it's not a good look.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, but it's like Kyle's winning games, so that's one. The ties to the organization, like Shanahan is this name that has like tradition and like legacy in the NFL now, and so do the Niners. So it's like this perfect match. Like it feels like those stars are aligned for Kyle to one day, lead us to a Super Bowl, which I have all the faith in the world that he's going to do, and just that these, is like this perfect marriage. I think I'm excited, man. And what's crazy is though, it's like he, all these reports are saying is that the negotiations didn't really even take that long, and they just pretty much. Like Jed and Kyle sat down, hashed it out, bam, brand spanking new deal.
Mutual.
So it's like, who came to the table first, you think?
Wow, that's a great question. I mean, I don't see coach asking for another, like, hey, I took you to the Super Bowl, he's led us there. Yeah, this, and I don't know. I mean, I think the organization's happy with what he's doing and how he carries himself, not just on the field, but off the field, and the messages he brings, as a person too in society. And you see those type of things, and that's the kind of person you want. Like that's a player's coach, and I'm sure they think very highly of him. And he's within not the age group, but definitely will be a person who understands the day and age we're in, and the struggles that players will go through, on and off the field.
He's progressive and shit, yeah.
Yes, all of that.
Yeah.
So they see that, they like where it's heading, and he's just shown to be just a great person. Aside from being a great coach, he's a great person. It's just a match made in heaven, and Jed had to come up to him and said, "Let's go a little further. Let's extend this even more."
Yeah,
I could see Jed going up, and and the way it happened too. Like it happened, like you said, it happened. It didn't have to be this big old thing. It didn't have to be rumors. The only rumors we heard is that it was coming, and then you were surprised, but happily surprised. I'm just curious what you think about Lynch. I mean, how come Lynch doesn't get an extension or anything like that?
It feels like that's down the pipeline. Like it's coming. Like it's coming sooner or later, and probably or maybe they're even when Lynch first took the job, I was always kind of felt that Lynch, how much like is he really like scouting players, and he feels maybe it's because he's like Stanford grad, so very well spoken. Like, dude looks like a fucking superhero, and it's like you expect him to be like more so like the like a team president type of role, or like just an ambassador of the 49ers. And people were saying that they were thinking of him actually being more so of a, like I said, like team president. And then like you talk about like was Adam Peters maybe at some point becoming the general manager. So maybe they're working on something to where like they're going to restructure
like a promotion.
the front. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe they're trying to do all that background stuff.
He ain't going nowhere, dude. He's definitely not going anywhere. But he's going to be probably, who knows, maybe have a different role like in the organization. And I don't know, I kind of feel that maybe Kyle, like, he had all the leverage. Jed has no leverage. Even if Kyle doesn't ever win, like it's in the next like 5-6 years, and he doesn't win Super Bowl, but we're continually are in the playoffs or in the hunt for a number 1 seed, a number 2 seed.
Right.
That because of Harbaugh, like Jed knows better, dude. He can't fire. He has to be the most patient. So Kyle's like, well, shit, I mean, I took us to the Super Bowl, so let me parlay this into becoming one of the top 5 highest paid coaches like in the NFL. To me, that would just be hella smart if he did that.
Right.
No.
Yeah, he might have, but I don't know. I mean, why be so aggressive? You think he wins this? I mean, it felt like it was going to happen anyways because they didn't win it, and they gave him the extension. He wins it, he gets the extension too. Like, it's going to happen either way. I don't know. I mean, just because I just feel like he's done a lot for the organization already in the short amount of time.
Yeah. And
he did take the team to a Super Bowl, and the ring didn't materialize this time. But who's to say that it's not going to materialize within the next few years, and Super Bowl appearances or NFC Championship appearances. And I mean, this is great for the team. I mean, I think it's just a great step in the right direction. And I mean, there's other things that need to be taken care of, and other contracts that need to be made, and who knows how they're going to go in that direction. But for Kyle, like you were saying, the legacy, it runs deep with the Niners.
Yeah.
The Shanahan name, he's bringing it back full circle, being there with his dad, in the early years, and now being a head coach. And, man, it would have been great to see him win that ring, taking the team, having his dad there. I mean, I just could see his face. I mean, I still remember looking at the replay.
Dude, that shit gets
man,
you all
when they won the
teary-eyed,
NFC Championship and they were going to Super Bowl.
Hell yeah.
Oh, my God. And he was not giving it up until the very end. Like, nope, I'm not saying anything until there was like a minute and a half left, and realized, well, this is it. Like, I've coached as far as I can take it, and we're going to the Super Bowl, and it's just, oh, man, I loved it. And I can't be any happier, like, for him, for the organization, I think for fans. How can you not want Kyle Shanahan to be your coach? I mean, he's your coach.
Yeah.
He's going to coach this team to hopefully multiple Super Bowl wins. Who knows? I'm on that hype train too. Who knows?
Man, it's like the initial deal was 6 years. His first initial contract he signed in 2017. Yeah. This is a 6-year deal. Like the quest for 6. It's like, 666, that whole like stigma and shit like going around that, man, in our quest for like the 6th Lombardi trophy. I don't know, man. That might either be our might be a curse. It might be the curse of like the number 6, man. It's like, and with like everything that's happening with Kyle,
it's been
like,
eluding us.
Yeah, it has. So hopefully Kyle can like really exercise those demons. But I just feel like you just really piggybacking on what you said. I just feel hella happy for him because he's just like the type of head coach you just want to like root for. And I love Jim Harbaugh, but like let's keep it real, man. Like he's can be funny at some points, but like during his like interviews and you hear like on the radio, he's kind of like a dick. He wasn't like, I feel like if he's, I don't know, if you get like like you wore people out, like that was the whole like the narrative like around him. And even like you don't, when he's taking you to back to back NFC Championship games, like you could fucking care less and stuff. But looking back at it, and he takes those shots at the Niners organization, it just kind of made me like, man, like fuck Harbaugh. I appreciate everything he did, and I probably wouldn't be I'd be singing a different tune if he actually got us that like 6th Lombardi trophy. But it feels good when your head coach or just even like the faces of your organization are people that you can actually like root for, because we know so much about these head coaches and these players now, where it's like it's gonna be found out sooner or later whether like they're dicks or not. You know what I'm saying? And
it's gonna come out. The true colors always come out. And I'll tell you this right now, the way I feel is like if Kyle Shanahan wore a jersey I'd buy his jersey. I'd wear his jersy. You know what I mean?
Hell
like,
yeah.
If he
I was
wore
thinking
it,
about that
I'm
too.
wearing
I'm
his
like,
jersey.
man, I don't.
You know what I mean?
What number do you pick though? Because like,
I don't
it's
know.
Kyle and shit.
This is the closest thing we honestly have is just the Kyle Shanahan. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's the closest thing I got to wearing a Kyle Shanahan jersey.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if he had one, I'd wear it. Still haven't got my hands on a hat.
Yeah, I was like, you can
If
get the
I had
hat.
it,
That's
I'd
the next
wear it
big
right
thing,
now,
man, with the tiniest
but, yeah.
logo, like
It's
ever.
getting smaller and smaller.
He's just gonna be rocking like a red hat, like on the sideline, just solid red, and like no team logos at all and shit. But I mean, we got I would say it, man. We got the swaggiest head coach in the league. He's gonna be our head coach here for like a very, very like long time, man. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it, man. So any other thoughts that you have on Kyle being our head coach for quite some time?
No, I think he's only getting better. There's there's learning lessons in every game, and they learned a lesson I think in that Super Bowl game, and he's only going to get better. I mean, eventually it's going to lead to a ring. I really do feel it's going to happen at least once. He's going to bring one home. If not two, if not three, who knows? But I mean, I believe in him.
Shit, like not one, not two.
I was going down that road, but
yeah,
I might be getting ahead of myself. But everybody knows he's a great play caller. He's a great coach.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel good, man. I'm ready for the season to start. We're getting closer and closer, and I hope things don't go sideways on us here.
Yeah.
But I just need this season, man. I need this season. We need to come back. We need that revenge tour to happen, and we need to happen in the worst way.
Yeah, and it's crazy. It's like because now think about like after the Falcons like Super Bowl loss and the 20-3 lead, like you could just feel like this man had something to prove. When he came to the 49ers and he took that challenge. He could have gone to any other team, but yeah, having ties to the organization. He wanted to bring us back to like prominence. So it's like this dude is not going to back down from like a challenge at all. And it's like just keep adding fuel to the fire. Like, and it's like it just kind of feels that once, for me, it just feels like once he's actually able to put it together and he gets that first, like we might just be rolling after that point. Like, all right, like he has that confirmation like in himself. I know he has all the confidence in the world that we'll be able to like win this shit or win the 6th Lombardi. But it's like once he actually like sees it and can feel like, man, I'm the fucking dude. Like I'm the best play caller in the NFL. I got a Lombardi. There ain't no stopping us now, and it just feels like it's just gonna be this unstoppable like freight train. Just once it happens, because I have all the faith in the world that it will. So we'll wrap it up there, man. The Kyle Shanahan episode, 6-year contract extension through 2025. That's our head coach, man. I'll say it again, the swaggiest head coach in the league.
My coach.
Hell yeah, man. And yeah, man, all of our content is on YouTube, Apple Podcasts. Like, subscribe, like I said, do all that type of shit that'll support us doing this. So I appreciate you guys for listening. Peace.